Michele. Today, I have got a treat for you. I fell in love with this book called Sewing by Heart by Tone Finanger. And you may have heard of Tony because she has a full line of things under the name of Tilda. She's been around for a while. She's from Norway, and oh my gosh, did I fall in love with her use of fabrics and design. Her attention to detail is amazing, and I can't wait to show you all the wonderful things she has in this book. She has in this book 20 projects. That's enough to keep you busy all year long. And in here, there's so many things that you can create, and you're just going to have a blast. So, on today's More Sewing with Michele, I can't wait to show you the samples that were made featuring this book, Sewing by Heart by Tone Finanger. Let's get going! Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to talk about the author, Tone Finanger. Now, Tony, she's very well known and loved for her line Tilda. Now, Tilda you'll see a lot of her books will just have the name Tilda on it, and it has to do with what she had designed as far as a little girl and all of these animals, and they kind of have followed her throughout her career. Now, in 1999, Tony started her business at the ripe old age of 25. Can you believe it? At 25, I don't know what I was thinking about, but it wasn't starting a business. And she learned her love of textiles and fabrics from her grandmother, who was a textile artist in Norway. Tony studied art, graphic design, and business. And her first job before she started her business was she was an interior designer. So she has long dabbled in textiles and fabrics. And she's a self-taught seamstress. Now, to my knowledge, Tony has at least 27 books under her belt. And I tell you, I own quite a few of them. I love her use of whimsy. Her use of fabrics are pretty amazing. She tends to use a lot of florals, which I kind of get drawn to anyways, but the colors and the way she puts things together are just amazing. Now, she has her full line of fabrics, books. She also creates patterns. She has notions. So she is an all over the place as far as sewing and creating. And like I said, you may have seen her over the years. Now, this book that we have here today has 20 projects in it. And I am going to be focusing on things that I stuffed. So I've done quilting, I've done machine embroidery, but I wanted to focus with this book in particular on some of the things that you can make with your sewing machine as gifts. So kind of stuff love things where you're going to create something and stuff it full of stuffing. So how many times am I going to say stuffed? Anyways, that's what I wanted to focus on today. Tony's book and her patterns incorporate in the book, there's quilting, there's sewing, there's accessories. She's got the full line of anything you would want to do with sewing. And her patterns are wonderful. They're easy to follow. And I think you're going to fall in love with them just as much as I did. So let's get going. And I'm going to show you some of the things that we created here for this episode of More Sewing with Michele. So I want to show you all of the things that were created using Tony's wonderful book. Now, I've got a special guest here today, and let me bring in Rhonda Berg.
Hey.
Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you, Michele. Good to be here.
So Rhonda, not only is she an amazing quilter and seamstress, she is also my best friend. And the best thing about it is we actually met at Moore's when we were working in the Huntington Beach store all those years ago. And we've had some wonderful quilting adventures and also just fun to be had whenever I'm with Rhonda. So I had her here today because she helped me create some of the samples that we have for you using Tony's book. And let's get started. Let's talk about these gorgeous pumpkins that Rhonda made first.
Oh, they were so much fun. They came in 4 different sizes, which was nice. So if you're gift giving or adding it to the top of a gift, it's just a lot of fun to make. I found they came in 8 sections, very easy to come together in their points, and for stuffing, just really from start to finish, really easy. And I used a variety of fabrics. There's cottons and flannels and this canvas like fabric. And you can do them in a variety of colors and prints. So if you want to decorate or give as a gift, like I was going to use this one as a baby gift, in fact.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love the stems. The stems on the pumpkin, I don't know if you're like me, Rhonda. When I traditionally go to buy a pumpkin, I look for the shape a little bit, but I'm always drawn to the stems. And I love the whimsical, kind of kinked, curved stem that they have on these pumpkins. Was that difficult to make at all?
Not at all. Not at all. It came together in 2 pieces. You could stuff it really easy, just as long as you have your stick and just get it in there.
Very cool. So I love all the fabrics that she used. And you'll notice, like she said, the flannels, she has a soft pastel, and then she has the bold Halloween colors. But she's also got just one fun flower quilted fabrics that she used. So it could be a decoration that you have all year round. So cool. I love your pumpkins. So I'm going to talk next about the rabbit. And it's kind of like, I don't know, a rabbit or a hare. It's definitely running away from something. I don't know what. But I love that Tony, let me hold it lower. I love that Tony in her book has projects where you actually create a quilt and then make it into something. Now, you could also, if you don't want to make the quilt, you could use a vintage quilt that maybe is kind of falling apart and give it new life by making a new project with it. So I simply pieced together this fabric, and then on the back on this one, I added a gingham, and I also add some just straight quilting on top to make it more look like an old world type of quilt, and then simply stuffed it. It was super easy to do, and it was so much fun. And he's stuffed pretty good, so he will stand up, like you see, all by himself, where he's firm and he has that feel to him. Now, I also did the same thing with, if you hold the rabbit, I made this wonderful squirrel. Now, the squirrel is made the same way. I actually pieced together 2.5-inch squares, and on both sides, front and back, I added a decorative zigzag on top to give it a little bit more of a, I don't know what I want to call it, like a cute little rustic feel to it. And then I simply put the 2 pieces together, added my batting, and I tell you, using the oh my gosh, professional tool turner, spit it out. It made it so much easier to get to these small little places when you're stuffing it. And just keep in mind, if you're stuffing something, I don't know if Rhonda, you had that. Yours were kind of a little bit bigger. But getting into small areas, you're going to want to use little bits of stuffing. Don't try to stuff a big hand wad because it's going to be difficult. So I took my time, pulled out little, some of them like smaller than a cotton ball, and then stuffed. And it just took a little bit of time. But the end result is he's pretty firmly stuffed, as well as the rabbit. And that way they will stand on their own. Okay, so that is the rabbit and the squirrel. Now, Rhonda made this really cool elephant. Tell me about the elephant, Rhonda.
Oh, he was so cute, or she was so cute. The front and back is one piece, but what was fun, you could be real creative with the blanket on the back and appliquing some flowers and the little head topper as well. She didn't come with a tail, so I added some yarn, just a little bit. I thought she needed a tail.
Definitely.
I don't have eyes on her, but you could add eyes. So you just have fun with them and be a cute little gift.
Oh, this would be adorable in a little baby's room. It could be a circus theme, or it could just be an elephant theme. It could be pretty much so anything. But I love Rhonda's use of fabrics for the blanket as well as the applique, and her actual elephant skin tone, this gray. It may be hard to show, but I'm going to show these close up a little bit later, where it's actually a pattern fabric. It is really stinking cute. Good job, Rhonda.
Thank you, Michele.
Rhonda also made some stinking cute bees. Woohoo! So I love the fabrics that she used. They're coordinated, but they match, the fabrics match, but you could use these for anything. I know my mom, she would love to have it as just a little accent for her clothing when she goes out. You
Yeah.
could use it as an accent in the house. So many things you could do with these bees. You could actually stuff them and make them a pincushion if you wanted. They look super difficult.
Not at all. In fact, they'd be great for like sewing with kids that are
Oh
newly
yeah,
learning to sew. Was just really easy come together.
yeah.
And
There's
something they can finish, and
yeah,
accomplish.
yeah, in a short amount of time because we know that younger kids when they're learning to sew, their attention span is much less than us adults, and that's something that they could start to finish in in an hour or two and still get the kind of sewing buzz that they need. Okay, so the next thing that we have is the fox. Let me pick up Mr. Fox here. So here's Mr. Fox, and I love foxes. I think they're my spirit animal, or they're the spirit animal that I choose in my life, and I collect them. So this was a natural for me when I saw Tony's book. And the fox pattern in here, there's two sizes. This actually is the large size, Rhonda.
Okay.
And with him, you can see I have different piece things, and this is part of Tony's pattern. It's why I love her animals and her designs. So she has pieced elements that she has, and you can see I just used coordinated fabrics that I hand picked. And what I like to do on the fox is I weighted the very tips of his hands, his feet, and his tail. And I simply added some crushed walnut shells so that when I sit him, I can kind of pose him and have his hands stay where I want them to stay. And that was kind of fun. Like I said, the pattern is all of the fabric piecing, and I did add, because I always like to add my decorative stitches. On the top, I liked adding a decorative stitch over where I piece the two things together just to give it a little bit more of a finished look. And his nose is hand sewn, and other than that, he's just a lot of fun, and I can't wait to have him posed throughout my house. So this is Mr. Fox, and like I said, this is the large size. So now
Love
in Tony's book, did you want to add something, Rhonda? Okay. In Tony's book, she's got lots of things. We only covered the stuffed projects that she has in the books. There's 10 of them, and as you can see, we didn't even make all of them. But she also has in Tony's book, she has quilting, she has decorative accents for your house. She's got a lot of things in this book, and it's just crammed into these pages. So I really want to thank you, Rhonda, for
thanks
joining
for having
me
me. It was
today.
a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I pushed myself outside the comfort zone to reading and step by step, and it was fun.
Well, very good. Well, we want to thank her, and I love the stuff that she made. And until next time, thanks for joining me today,
Hey,
Rhonda.
bye.
Okay, so I'm going to go on to showing some of the book close-up. So just a second. So let me talk about this amazing book. Not only is it a book that has beautiful photography, I don't know who she has do her photography for the book, but they do an amazing job setting up the different items. It really brings you in, and it gets you to want to make every single one of these projects in here. Now, like I said before, there's 20 different projects in here. Now, keep in mind, some of these projects have multiple sizes. So there's lots of things that you can do. It's going to keep you busy the whole entire year. She's got stuff for spring, she's got stuff for fall, summer, and also winter. She has a beautiful a stuffed Santa Claus as well as quilts that coordinate throughout. So I just love it. Now let me show you a little bit about the photography in this book. So this is the front page, and you can see here it's showing you all the different projects that we have. But look at the way she has it laid out and all the different things that she shows you. These are all of the quilts. Isn't that cool? I love them. And just to create one of them, they're so amazing. The colors, the designs, the way that Tony puts it together is just gorgeous. Now I want to show you real quickly here. So this is one of the projects that we didn't do. So I'm going to hold it up close. and you can see that it's bees and it's little stuffed things, just really stinking cute. I really love all of these projects, and I probably will get to pretty much so all of them. So with that though, she breaks it down and she has very concise instructions for cutting your fabric as well as putting all of the quilts, or if you're making an accent for your house, a pillow, or one of the stuffed projects. All of the information's here, easy and nice, and it's wonderful to follow. Let me find one more page here to show you. Oh, this was one of the wonderful things. This is reverse applique. Isn't that pillow gorgeous? I tell you, it would be beautiful in any home. So I love this book. I love all the things that Tony has come up with and what she offers us. Keep in mind, if you would like to purchase this book, you pretty much don't know what to do nowadays, but you're going to go to moors-sew.com, or you can click on the link in the description where you can purchase this book, as well as I'm going to add a few things that I use to create my items on the landing page as well that you can pick up. Don't forget, moors-sew.com. Thank you once again for joining me for more Sewing with Michele. And this week with this wonderful book by Tone Finanger. Keep in mind, she has 27 books, and she's such a well-loved author that those books have been translated into 12 languages. Her designs for Tilda and her quilting patterns are just amazing, and I know you're going to love them in this book, Sewing by Heart. And I got my little fox friend here with me. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week on More Sewing with Michele. Until then, bye-bye.